It's been a tough week, and it's been a tough month, and it's been a tough several months. Why are so many people, particularly far right conservatives and certain governments, so hell bent on being so called experts on what it's like to be transgender? Why are they taking away care? Why are they legislating things that they have no idea about? What is gender affirming care? It's not just something that's, for those who are transgender. Let's break this down. Less than 1% of the population identifies as being transgender. How do we know? How did we know? That maybe how we were assigned at birth isn't how we actually really are. So for me, it took a long time. I'm now 50. I figured it out finally at 43 because I didn't have the terminology. I didn't have the knowledge that we have today. Things that, people have been able to learn along their growing years. My kids, when they were teenagers in high school, learned about different genders, different identities, all the terminology I wish I had. So when I came out to them and they were 14 and 16 years old, they were very nonchalant about it. They love me no differently. They've said over the years how much happier they see me. And they're like, yeah, it's no big deal. We learn about this in school. We have friends that identify in the LGBT community. In the 80s and 90s, when I went to high school, that never would have happened. Nobody would have ever come out in high school back then. And people hid. So back to that 1%. How did I know? Something was very much confusing most of my life until I did figure it out. I ask you, though, if you're cisgender. And cis means same. It just means you identify as the gender you were assigned with at birth, male or female. That's what you accept. But for 1% of us, it doesn't quite work that way. So how did you know you were male or female? How did you know when you were a boy or a girl? How did you know you were gay or straight? You don't have to come out as straight. You just knew. So why does everyone question it when it's something that's transgender? How do you know at 4 years old? Well, how did you know at 4 years old that you were a boy if you're a boy? Or you knew you were a girl if you're a girl? You just knew. So when a child says that, and it doesn't necessarily align with how they were assigned at birth, why are we questioning that? Inquire more. Why do they feel that? Embrace them. Love them. They're no different. So gender affirming care. These are things that, as we go on, it just affirms who we are. Why does a woman get a boob job? Maybe they're not happy with what they have for breasts and they want to be larger. But why? Is it that if their breasts are smaller, they're not feeling like they're feminine enough? And to make it larger, does that increase their femininity? Would that not be gender affirming? Why do I grow my hair long? To stand out from short hair. And many women have short hair. I wanted my hair longer so that it was affirming to me that I was female. Many women do that too. What about testosterone? What about estrogen? Hormone replacement therapy. Every person goes through some kind of menopause. Women go through perimenopause and menopause. Men go through menopause. As we age, we drop some of the hormones that we have had all of our lives. So if a man is replacing testosterone later in life, why are they doing so? To feel more virile, to feel more masculine, because they feel that they've lost some of that masculinity? Health is one aspect. but it's not necessary. But if they want to feel like they were most of their adult life, then would that not be gender affirming? Same thing with female hormones. Would that not be gender affirming? Why do a lot of women in most cultures, or maybe it's just North American and European, shave their legs? Have smooth legs? Feel softer? Feel more feminine? There's so many things that we do as humans, as men and women, that are just gender affirming. It's not specific to being transgender. We call it a lot more gender affirming care because we've gone through all this dysphoria. We've been told we were one way, and yet inside we felt another. So when we have this ability, and science has allowed us to start to transition and be who we feel we truly are inside, then that's care. I've gone from the despair, the dysphoria of looking at my body and saying something just doesn't align, to taking the steps, whether it's hormone therapy, whether it's surgeries. And again, these are all very, very personal choices, ones that I don't take lightly. Many of you say, well, you're an adult. You can make those decisions. And you know what? Youth can make those decisions too. And they're not taking these decisions on their own. It's not something that's quick. It takes years of counseling, hormone therapy, and then ultimately, if you decide surgeries, we're talking years. And so physicians, counselors, teams of caregivers, and caring parents are all part of the process all the way along. It is extremely rare that anyone under 16 has any top surgery. It is incredibly rare, almost unheard of, for anybody under 18 to have bottom affirming surgery. And for those cases that there are, they're extremely, again, rare, but extenuating circumstances, and the reason for it is that this person will be far, far happier. They've gone through so many years of dysphoria, of just not aligning with that gender. Then everyone's like, what about the regret? For those that go through any kind of surgery, there is a 1% regret rate. Now remember, those that are transgender, it's less than 1%. So 1% of the 1% would be in the general population, 1 in 10,000. It's been known that those that get nose jobs, anywhere from 7 to 15% of people that get nose jobs have regrets. On an average of 15% of people that have any kind of plastic surgery have regret. We don't talk about that. Yet all of society seems to be concerned about a 1%. How about the thousands of people that are saved from themselves, from taking their own lives because nobody supports us? Nobody understands us. You know what? You just have to be supportive and love someone and just be there for them. It saves lives. Excuse me. Everyone's so hell-bent on what they just don't know. Ask people. Ask the questions. Ask why. And why are we preventing people from getting the care they desperately need so they can be happy? I'm the happiest I've ever been. And that's all in the last 6 years. I've had ups and downs, but I've had ups and downs as a person. But in the last 6 years, I have not been unhappy at all about who I am as a person. And that's a woman. And it's so enlightening. So there's going to be more discussions. And I welcome every question. I welcome every discussion. Let's bring it up more and let's talk about it. Because why are we spending so much time and energy blocking the happiness of less than 1%? Let's just let people be happy.